When I was working, I thought I knew what work was costing me. I knew it cost me time, I knew it cost me energy, and I knew it came with stress. That was part of the job, and that's why we got paid. But I didn't really understand the hidden costs of working until I stepped away from it. Because once the meeting stopped, once the commute disappeared and the inbox went quiet, and nobody needed me at 8 in the morning, I realized work had been taking a lot more than that. It had been taking more than just the hours at the office. It had been taking bandwidth. It had been taking sleep. It had been taking my health. And it had been taking my presence. And maybe most of all, it had been taking my sense of time. Welcome to the UnRetired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. If you're planning retirement, you're already retired, or you're looking to build a better next chapter, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us build a community. Now, I don't want to sound anti-work. I mean, one of the reasons that we get to have a great retirement is probably because we did a lot of hard work. Work gave me a lot. It gave me income, identity, purpose, structure, achievement, relationships as well, a place to contribute. And if you had a meaningful career, you probably feel much the same way. The tricky part is the hidden cost of working is not always obvious when you're good at it. In fact, the better you are at handling pressure, responsibility, and complexity, the easier it is to normalize the weight that you're actually carrying. The first hidden cost is the stress that you don't even realize is stress anymore. A lot of people say, I'm not stressed, I'm fine. And they honestly believe it. But work stress can become more like background music, or more accurately, background noise. The Sunday night feeling that you get when you have to think about what you're gonna do that week and how you're gonna hit it hard on a Monday morning. The low level awareness that something could go wrong, the waiting for the phone call feeling, the mental rehearsal before a difficult meeting, the deadlines, the presentations, the responsibility of being needed by your team or your boss or whoever. The constant sense that you're never fully off duty. Those who loved our work and were good at it, we felt like that, but I think everybody does to some degree. Retirement didn't just remove stress that I knew I had and was aware of, it actually revealed stress that I actually stopped noticing. And that's the part that surprised me. Sometimes you don't know how heavy something is until you finally set it down. And for leaders, managers, business owners, teachers, healthcare workers, parents, and caregivers, basically any job or function where people are depending on you, that weight can actually be pretty enormous because you're just not managing tasks, you're managing the expectations of those people, the problems, the emotions, the consequences of other people's needs. The second hidden cost is that work consumes far more than the workday. Most people think work takes 8 or 9 hours a day, but that's not the full cost. Work also takes a commute. It takes a tired evening afterwards. It takes decompression time. It takes the I'm home, but I'm not really present hours with your family. It takes the Sunday night I mentioned before. It takes vacation emails while you're supposed to be relaxing. It takes the errands crammed into the weekends because you didn't have time to do them over the week. And it takes the mental preparation before Monday even arrives. Can't tell you how that is on Sunday night for me, or on a Monday morning. I'd even get up early and start thinking about, or actually stressing about, what the week was gonna be. So you don't just retire from a job, you retire from the gravitational pull of that job and all the relationships and the expectations that go along with those relationships. And that gravitational pull is really powerful. Even when you're not working, work can still be organizing your life. It tells you when to sleep, when to wake up, when to eat, when to exercise, when to rest, when to see your family, which is a terrible thing to say, and how much energy is left over when the official workday is actually over. The third hidden cost is financial. Retirement often reveals that work costs more money than people think. You spend money on things like gas, mileage, car maintenance, work clothes, the wardrobe, heck, and also lunches out. Even your packed lunch, you have to make it, take it, all of that. Coffee runs, parking, dry cleaning, convenience food because you're just bored and you need a snack in the middle of the afternoon. It could be fundraisers from different things that your other teammates are raising money for, charities or whatever. There's all sorts of things like that. And of course, there's the professional obligations. There's all the subscriptions you didn't have time to even cancel, services that you outsource because you were too busy. It could be insurance, utilities, and bills you never really optimize because you simply didn't have the bandwidth to sit down and actually read the bill and try and optimize it. Busyness is expensive. Let me say that again. Busyness is expensive because when you're busy, you pay for convenience. When you have time, you can pay attention. And this matters in retirement planning because many people worry retirement will be unaffordable, but they don't always account for the expenses that are just going to disappear when your work disappears. And of course, this isn't all of them. Retirement has its own costs, but for many people, the budget changes in a way that they didn't expect because there's a lot of little hidden spending attached to going to work every day and all week, and it's going to finally fall away. The fourth hidden cost is your health. Work quietly shapes your body. It shapes how you eat, how you sleep, how much you sit, how much you stand, how much you move, and how much recovery you actually get. Even people who exercise can still be affected by work. You can work out in the morning and still spend the rest of the day sitting on your butt in meetings or eating too much or too fast, grabbing whatever's convenient, carrying all kinds of tension in your shoulders, and using food, TV, or alcohol to come down at the end of the day, just to de-stress yourself. So retirement can reveal what your body actually needed all along. So maybe you sleep more when there's no alarm. Maybe you move more naturally when you're not trapped to a schedule or in a cubicle. And maybe you eat better because you're not rushed and trying to cram something down your throat in between meetings. Maybe you stop needing weekend naps because every day is a little less depleted. And here was the thing I discovered when I finally did retire. Retirement didn't make me lazy. It gave my body a chance to recover. Now, this is a good point to pause and let me ask you something. What hidden cost of working did you only notice after retirement, or what cost are you feeling right now as you get closer to retirement? Is it stress, sleep, health, money, time, your marriage, your kids, your weekends, or just feeling that life was always moving a little too fast? Leave a comment below and please share your experience. Not only do I read every one, but we literally have hundreds of other people and thousands sometimes that read these comments and they get a lot of value from them. I know that because I see that people are saying that they value these comments. All right, let's get back into this. Another hidden cost is an obvious one, and that's relationships. Work creates a lot of social interaction, but not all of it's deep connection or the connection that you actually need. When you retire, you may discover who was a coworker, who was a friend, and who truly matters. And that's not an insult to anybody. Workplace relationships, they can be warm, meaningful, they can also be really important, but they're also built around just the sheer proximity that you were going into the same office or seeing each other regularly all the time. You had shared responsibilities and a common mission. But once that structure disappears, some of those relationships are going to naturally fade, and some of them are frankly just going to die away. And then there's the humbling part. The company moves on faster than you expect. The meetings continue, the emails continue, the problems continue, the solutions continue. Someone else gets the office, the title, the responsibility, and the project that you always felt like you were the master of. And as strange as that may feel, maybe that's one of the big lessons. Your identity can't depend entirely on being needed by an organization that is designed to keep running after you leave. I mean, that's the whole point of an organization, is to be self-sustaining. People are always shocked when they see how quickly they were replaced. Or worse yet, sometimes they weren't replaced and everything just got taken care of. Those are kind of hard things to kind of swallow. And that doesn't have to be sad, but it can be very clarifying. Retirement gives you a chance to invest in those relationships that are chosen but not assigned. And these are your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, your old friends, new friends, and people you connect with just because you want to, not because you just happen to be in the same building 5 days a week with somebody. Then there's also the mental load. Work occupies space in your mind even when your laptop is closed. There's all kinds of office politics, drama, promotions, conflicts, performance reviews, staff issues, client problems, unfinished projects, money worries, status worries, relevance worries, expectations. You may not think about it all consciously, but it is running around somewhere in the back of your head, almost like random access memory of a computer. It may not actually be doing anything, but it's actually thinking about those things. You just don't realize how loud your work life was until the room finally gets quiet. And that quiet can be really uncomfortable at first. Some people retire and immediately try and refill the silence with busyness because the silence just feels strange. It feels empty and hollow. But sometimes that silence is not emptiness at all. Sometimes it's actually your mind finally getting room to breathe and to expand a little bit. Another thing that work does is trains you to rush. You rush through everything. You rush through your mornings, you rush through evenings, you rush through weekends, you rush through errands, conversations, you even rush through your vacations simply because there's stuff to do when you get back to work. You have 1 week off, so you try and win the vacation, so to speak. So you find yourself thinking, oh, you're gonna see 7 things Monday, 4 things Tuesday, 2 hikes Wednesday, 1 national park on Thursday, and somehow you call that relaxing when it seems like it's not relaxing at all. Retirement, on the other hand, it gives you time, but it also teaches you how badly you may have forgotten how to use time. At first, you may still attack life like there's a deadline attached to it and attached to everything that you do. You may turn retirement into just another productivity contest. But slowly and eventually, if you let it, retirement can teach you a very different pace. One that's not lazy, it's not passive, it's just less frantic. And that brings me to one of the great gifts of retirement, and that's what I call carefree timelessness. And that means you have time without an agenda. Not optimized leisure, not scheduled productivity, not squeezing people in, just being. Sitting with your spouse without checking the clock, having, a coffee that turns into a 2-hour conversation, taking a walk with no deadline, cooking slowly, really learning a recipe and playing with the ingredients. Could be playing with grandkids without rushing, or it just could be watching the evening unfold, whether it's on your porch or watching an old movie. Carefree timelessness may be one of the greatest luxury that retirement gives people. And it's really hard to appreciate while you're still working. It's just hard to kind of comprehend that kind of me time, because when time is scarce, you try to manage it, you try to control it, and of course, we always are trying to maximize the time. But when time opens up, after you stop working, you can finally experience those comfortable gaps. Before we wrap up, if this video is resonating with you, please hit the like button, subscribe to the UnRetired, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss our multiple weekly videos that we put out every week about retirement planning, retirement lifestyle, health, purpose, money, freedom, and what it really means to build the great life after you stop working. So let me finish by saying this. Work gave me a lot. I'm never gonna say that work sucked or, well, sometimes it sucked, but I'm not gonna say that it didn't give me anything. It gave me income, identity, purpose, structure, achievement, relationships, a place to contribute. But retirement also revealed something I didn't fully understand while I was still in the thick of it. Work had a hidden cost, not because work was bad, but because every season of life has a price, and sometimes it's a price that you can't see while you're in the middle of it. And maybe the gift of retirement is that. For the first time in my life, for the first time in a long time, for the first time in your life, you get to decide what's worth paying for, and what you're finally ready to stop spending yourself on.